have two, probably my favorite memories. One was the trip that we took to Tucson. I mean, that was a great trip right there, you know, going around shopping for fossils and meteorites and all kinds of stuff. But then there was that one stop we made. It was on a runway, like an old runway. It was the guy Z, and he had these enormous like crystals and fossils and everything all set up, and you could just wander around. I think that's where we got a few of the big crystals, and the meteorite was from Z. That was a lot of fun.
Robert Kirkland had called me and asked me if I would go out to Barrett-Jackson and buy cars for the museum. So my son and I and Terry Petty went out there and bought $1 million worth of cars. We stayed out there about a week and we had a lot of fun.
We were in the early stages of this. We were having this discussion about cost, and we were trying to think of ways to cut costs. So I suggested we ought to think about cutting out the escalators in the building. And Robert said, okay, let me think about that. And he said, about 2 seconds later, he said, I think we'll keep them. But what was important about that was it wasn't just, you know, that particular cost. He was so focused on making sure this was a quality place. He thought that was important to have a quality guest experience. So he was determined to include things like that. And that was just the beginning of a lot of quality focused decisions that were made here.
We would meet in the trailer initially, and there would be like 10 or 12 people in the group, everybody supporting Mr. K and/or architect, exhibit people, et cetera, et cetera. So you'd meet there for 2 hours, back and forth, what Mr. K wanted to do, what he wanted to pay. In the end, in the last 10 minutes, Mr. K would take whoever the lead person was in the back room, and the two of them would decide what they wanted to do. So we participated, but Mr. K, final say.
Well, I just remember when we first started hearing about Discovery Park and what it was all about. And I thought, Robert is so smart, because when he selected people to be chairs in the beginning, it was community. So therefore, you had the community working and spreading the word and getting the information out very, very quickly. And when we all understood what an educational institution this was going to be, in my heart, that was exactly what I wanted it to be. Everything else grew around education, and that was wonderful, and that's what it is.
Everybody would like to have somewhere to go to be entertained, and you can come here to be entertained, but it's not just regular entertainment. It's not that type like when you go to a movie and then when it's over, it's over. You learn something, and every time you walk through here, you learn something you didn't know before. You see the same things in a slightly different way. So it's kind of like renewed discovery all of the time.
You take a county of Obion County of 32,000, and there's 95 counties in Tennessee, and we're ranked in the top 30 in tourism. And the reason that we're ranked top 30 in tourism is only because of Discovery Park of America.
Well, it is the tourist attraction. I mean, where else in the world can you come to a facility like this? And the way he set it up in galleries, you know, I mean, if you don't find something here that you like, I don't know where you're going to find it. Like if you went to Washington, you would find separate buildings for each gallery. All of those things he combined into one, not only the building, but the grounds. I mean, the grounds, this was a cornfield with nothing in it. Robert, he knew what he wanted. And so I enjoyed 5 years of getting it to what he wanted, and you know, it keeps getting better.
Oh, I think Robert Kirkland would be very proud to see what has transformed from this place right here. I think he would be very proud.
He was always kind of a larger-than-life kind of person. And, you know, to be honest, that's kind of what this place is. It's a larger-than-life, kind of unexpected place to have in such a rural area. Has so many amazing things that really stands out. Yeah, so I would say just from how I knew him as a larger-than-life, colorful character, I think this museum is exactly that. So.
To be honest with you, I think Discovery Park of America actually changes lives. I think that kids can come here and they see things and experience things that actually may cause them to want to go on and further their education and do things that they had never considered doing before. It's just priceless.